So in this video today, we will demonstrate a C program written in Microsoft Windows compiler, C compiler. And we're gonna demonstrate the scan function and how it behaves. It's the basic function that would take characters and integers, but let's see how it could be modified. And what are some of the characteristics of scan functions that we need to learn here. So once you have your once you have opened your compiler window, which would recognize the CL command, the compiling command in Windows, you can open up editor of your choice where you can write this program, and then you can write a program, simple program that would include, let's just increase the font here, include a standard io.h header file and also the standard lib file for the system command that I'll show you here. So here's my main program. Define a variable, say ABC, and then I'm going to say system do CLS. I think that's what Windows using it. CLS, yes, between Linux and Windows. And then you say printf new line, enter a character, and then you're going to use scanf, and you're going to scan a character. So this is the keyword for scanning a character, and you're always going to use a ampersand sign for integers, floating numbers, and characters, not for string. This is not going to be used for strings, only for characters and integers. And then you're going to say scan this into the variable that we defined here, which is ABC. And let's print that. In a new line, you entered C. Variable that's going to match up with this guy. You're printing basically what you scanned. Close the main program, save the program in your directory as a C file, not a txt file, so make sure you change this, and you say scanf dot C, save, replace, yes. All right, let's try to run this. CL scanf, and the program ran successfully, and it should have an exe here, right here. CLS, let's run it, and it should prompt us for enter a character right here, the first line. So our character is going to be U. You entered U. Okay. Now, see how this guy is scanning one character. So scanf by default would take one character. Now, if you want to say make this in a loop until you press Control C to break it, you can simply type main recursive. So you're basically going back, and you can define this guy. Actually, leave it here, and we'll just say it's an empty character, and we just keep going in loop. Let's see how this behaves. scanf. Okay. Recursive on all control pass function will cause work overflow. That's fine. Let's enter I. See, it did not. See, now what happened is you entered a character. Let's do that again, and it did not stop. It did not print and stop. So how do you make it stop before it goes back in the loop? So you just do Control C. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put a get char here, and basically here you're trying to capture the enter key. Right now, scanf only takes one key, one character out of your keyboard, whether it's a any alphanumeric number or even a carriage return. So this is just good for one. So here, let's see now how this is going to behave. All right. Enter a character. Let's say we say E. See, it's still not printing and stopping. You know why? Because when you enter a character, you have you're pressing an enter key, which is getting entered right here. So for each scanf, you gotta put in a get char to, and you can make a comment here for the enter key. See that? And that would capture the enter key and stop for this guy to be printed, and then here's another enter key before it goes in the loop. Enter or capture enter key. So Control C, compile it again. Recursive, all right, no problem with there. Now let's enter a character. There you go. See, now it stopped. It captured the enter key and it's waiting for another enter key before it goes back and asks you what enter character. See that? Now that's the basic behavior of how the scanf works. So this video is basically to demonstrate you that scanf, when scanning a character, is not going to take your enter key, so that when you when you input a character, enter key gets lost and it gets in the loop. So when we put this guy here, the enter key was getting captured here, but not here. So that's the basic behavior of how a scanf function works. Now, if you want to scan everything into it and avoid writing get chars every time you put in there, you can use different functions that are available, but in that function a carriage return is going to be inputted into the character or string. So let's see if we can now modify this guy scanf to take multiple strings, multiple characters. So if we want to take in the enter key as well, you're going to have to define the variable that it's taking the character in this case ABC, to be an array. So an array is character of multitude or multiple spaces, not just one. So in this case, ABC is capable of taking 20 characters, including a carriage return if we choose to put it in. But the purpose here is, okay, how do I put a enter key? So we're going to eliminate this guy character, because now we're going to take the enter key inside the scanf, but it's going to look like this. How do we do that? We're going to say We're going to use the percentage signs after the quotes, and then we're going to open a bracket, square bracket, and we're going to say scan it until you hit a carriage return, which is, this is what the carriage return escape key is, or escape code is. And then when you're going to close this, and you're going to put the C here saying you scan everything, every character. This asterisk is for every character. And then this is basically a regular expression in scanf saying scan everything until you see a character carriage return, including the carriage return. Scanf does not even take spaces. So before I get into this, let me comment this. Let's use a scanf. Now that this guy is a string, ABC is a string now. See, it can take up to 20. So we're going to scan this, and we're going to say, okay, we're going to take this guy. Since it's a string, we're going to use the string key code here, and then we're not going to use the ampersand. We're going to just use ABC. All right, now watch what happens, and we're going to still use the get char. Why? Because it's not, scanf would not by default take enter keys. It also does not take spaces. Now watch. So if we have to print this guy, we're going to place this within ABC, string code ABC, and we'll keep this character here. Let's compile this. Save it. Control S. And let's right. So now if I enter hello world, this is less than 20, right? But here's a space, but see what it does. It's going to say you entered. Oh, it's taking the get char. See the behavior? It's not. It's taking. Oh, here's my bad. Get char. S. Scanf exe. Hello world. You entered world. See, it's not, so the initial, it took the last one, it's supposed to take hello. Let's see. That's because it's probably got something in the memory to begin with. Hello. You entered hello. Okay. Hello world. You entered world. So it took the last part and ignored everything else. So how do I take the whole string? The way to do that is skipping the space. It's not taking the whole character. So let's see if I can make this 50. Would it work? Hello world. See, it's not doing that. So how do we fix this? We fix this by asking or modifying the scanf to take everything. So we go back to we just eliminate this guy because we've already written this statement with a regular expression in scanf. So we're saying scanf, scan everything until you get the carriage return, and this is going to be a character, but you have to have a variable that's a string. So this is how you define a string in C, and then you're going to say this is print. Just print this guy. Control S. Let's see if you can compile this. Scanf exe hello world. See that? You entered hello world, and you successfully entered or inputted a string including the carriage return using the scanf, avoiding the get char, and it's much more smooth. But the summary of this video is that scanf by default would not take characters, carriage returns, or spaces. Yeah, and if you want to do it, you have to write a regular expression like this. Now, if you say, okay, what if I want to take some other character, like exclamation mark or something end of string, you know, code and not carriage return, you can do that, and then it should work. Let's try that. Let's say if we skip the carriage return and if we say we want to terminate our string with an asterisk and compile the code, scanf exe hello world, keep scanning until you see this guy. See that? Now it's not taking the carriage return, so because we eliminated the carriage return, so now let's put the get char back here. So we're going to capture that. Scanf hello world. You entered hello world. There you go. And it's stopping you for, it stopped where it needs the carriage return. So you press the carriage return. There you go. So see, hope this demonstrates the behavior of scanf. You would typically write it with until you hit the carriage return, and we'll take the carriage return as well, and that would enable you to avoid writing get chars just to take that. Hope this helps.